Alright, cheesy minions. So this is it. Battle number 1000. That's, whoa. I mean, like, even back in my Gen 4 days when I was racking up the subs, I never thought I would actually have 1,000 battles on this YouTube thing. I figured that, I'd probably get bored of posting them eventually, or, move into other stuff, so, it's kind of funny. I've actually posted more battles in my adult life than, my, I guess adolescent life, when I was posting the Gen 4 and Gen 5 stuff. I think I totaled about 400 something battles, and then when I moved into Gen 6, I completed the remaining like 550 or so. And that's actually pretty funny because, like, I don't know, I didn't think I'd keep at it for this long. And to be honest, before I even go into it, the reason that I've kept at it for so long is because of you guys, man. Um, Honestly, I like to entertain people, and I know I'm not the biggest Pokemon YouTuber, at least not anymore. I was at Gen 4 and all that, or pretty close to it. Even though I'm not, I mean, it's just fun to, come up with, like, entertaining strategies and content, and it's really fun to read all your comments, too. I mean, it's been a wonderful experience here on YouTube, and honestly, I'm still having a lot of fun with it, and I'm looking forward to Gen 7, which was announced. I'll get to that probably at the end of the video. Did I say Gen 7? Gen 8. I meant Gen 8. But anyway, so this battle is going to be kind of interesting. It's going to be against SixftHax, who agreed to do this battle with me. He's a well-known YouTuber. If you don't know who he is, check him out in the video description. Of course, you probably know who he is because he's way, way bigger than me now. But yeah, so we're going to actually do a format. Apparently, there's a real format like this that has some weird rules in Smogon that no one actually plays, but wasn't aware of that when I sent him the message. I sent him, let's do a battle with middle evolutions, because they don't get enough love, everyone likes, like, the cute little first forms, or, like, the awesome and powerful final forms. They ignore, for the most part, middle forms, who kind of are just, like, there during, the actual gameplay and the RPG of Pokemon, kind of just to, bridge the gap between the cute first form and, the terrifyingly overpowered final form that you actually do want. I was kind of just thinking, I really like Charmeleon, for example. I actually didn't use Charmeleon. I was going to use Charmeleon, but I really decided against. But I really like the design of Charmeleon, but it's like, I've never really used Charmeleon. So, why not? Let's do a format that we can do that. And, talking with him, we came up with a few ground rules. So no Eviolite, because, I mean, everything could just be Eviolite in this format. It just wouldn't be that fun. And the other rule that I came up with was, no Pokemon that were, at one point, the final form of that line. So, pretty much to get rid of the Chanseys and the Porygon 2s, Pokemon that were, Scyther, Pokemon that, were kind of balanced to be the final form of that evolution set, but then later got an evolution. So, none of those guys either. So, yeah, so it should be pretty interesting. I mean, I don't know how it's going to turn out. I kind of put my team together with, like, a bunch of stuff that I kind of was familiar with. But I wanted to throw in some interesting stuff, too. Like, I'm bringing Dragonair, even though Dragonair's move set, or move pool, is actually pretty balls. In a bad way. And, yeah, let's see how it goes. So, let's run the battle. So right off the bat, you notice he's, ignoring one of my rules. Actually, I think it was an honest mistake. He's bringing Electabuzz, which technically was a final form in Gen 1. Actually, Gen 1 to Gen 3, so whatever. So I wasn't expecting to see anything quite that fast. So, whatever. We're gonna try to roll with the punches. So, gonna go ahead and leave with my Graveler. It is a Custop Berry Graveler, which is a berry that actually recently got released. And he's gonna go ahead and leave with a Terracat. And here I decide just to go for the Earthquake. I just want to get damage on this Terracat, but I don't know what I was thinking, because he's probably gonna U-turn, and he does. So, now he's gonna get that damage. He's gonna break my Sturdy ability. I probably should have just went for the Stealth Rocks, stick to my guns, but the plan is, obviously, with Custop is to Stealth Rocks and then Explosion. But no, I go for the Earthquake, and he goes out into this Grotle thing, and this Grotle thing takes us really, really nicely. And I'm really kind of chicken, and I do not want to take a Grass move. Even though I know I could outspeed this thing and set up the rocks, I still just don't want to die. So I just go into my Doublade, who can take a Grass move, and he's just going to wisely set up his own Stealth Rock. So that's kind of bad for me. I do carry the Defog on my my Prinplup, so I could get rid of these later, so that's what I'm thinking. Yeah, I need to get into my Prinplup first, and it won't make it easy because it's a Grass type. Don't want to switch in a Water type on a Grass type, so I decided just to go for this Sacred Sword. I was kind of maybe expecting maybe a switch. I didn't think he'd stay in because, you know, I could pretty much set up Sword Stances at will on this thing, but instead he sets up the Leech Seed, so that's kind of annoying because that Leech Seed thing is going to actually sap my health, and I do not want to lose HP on Doublade because his team is actually pretty weak to Doublade overall. And I figure I could maybe set up a sweep with it later. So I go into my Duosion, and as you can see, it's not Magic Guard. It's actually going to be Regenerator, Assault Vest Duosion. So I'm just going to go to my Graveler because I don't want to take like a U-turn or anything from this thing. Indeed, he does go for the U-turn. I just go into my Graveler. I know that he's probably just going to go straight into his Grotle, but he ends up U-turning now into his Fracture. And I don't really want anything to take a hit from Fracture at all. I was actually thinking about Fracture on my team, but I decided to go with like the nostalgia in Dragonair, because I just love the design of Dragonair. I've always have. It's just a really badass looking Pokemon. So I'm just going to go into it, because one of the advantages to bringing Dragonair over Fracture is I actually have 3 base speed advantage over Fracture. So I'm just going to go for that gosh darn Outrage now, and take this guy out. So that's pretty nice. 3-foot Fracture, that's funny. I think it's because his mascot is the evolved form Haxorus, so... that's a good nickname. Anyway, so in comes his Terracat, and obviously I am locked into Outrage. Outrage is like the only dragon move that this thing knows that's physical, unfortunately. Like, it doesn't even learn Dragon Claw, although it makes sense, it doesn't have really any claws, but... This guy also gets Outrage. He was able to KO me, but I'm like, you know what? I have Doublade, and I can take, you know, an Outrage for, like, days. You're giving me a free Swords Dance, so I'm just gonna take it. And thankfully... not only do I take that really nicely, but he ends up getting that 3rd turn of Outrage. So I'm okay. I could set up like the +4, or I could get rid of this Terracat right now, which would be really nice because this guy's just been pivoting with the Intimidate and all that annoying stuff. So you know what? I'm just gonna get rid of this Terracat. I'm just gonna get rid of this thing with a Secret Sword. I might have been able to use. Actually, I don't know. I don't know if it would have quite done it with a Shadow Snake, so I just go for the Sacred Sword, knowing that I'm not going to take much from the Outrage anyway. And in comes his own Duosion, and I'm like, you know what, originally I did have a Focus Sash Duosion with what's the move, Magic Guard, but I decided to change it into Regenerator Assault Vest, and I'm like, you know, I have to risk it. I'm just going to go for this Shadow Snake. Ends up maybe being a mistake for me, because he does have the Assault Vest, sorry, not the Assault Vest, the Focus Sash, which allows him to live that hit, and unfortunately take down my Doublade. Looking back on it, probably not the best move. I probably could have tried to keep Doublade, because Doublade really hurts his team a lot. But that sucks. It still does a lot of work. I'm able to go to my Prinplup now. I was thinking about defogging this turn to get rid of those annoying Stealth Rocks. But I decided just to finish it off, and now he goes in this Electabuzz thing, which he shouldn't have even brought, but whatever. It's also really fast, it has 105 base speed, which is kind of more than I thought anything would have in this format, but, oh well. So the Thunderbolt obviously kills me. I wasn't sure, even with the Assault Vest of my Duosion, could come in here and take a Thunderbolt. And he ends up going for the Volt Switch, which ends up hitting me down about half, and I have the Assault Vest. So I'm like, oh, that's not good. I think he actually said it was Zap Plate, so yeah, that explains the bonus electric damage. And yeah, Electabuzz has really solid speed and special attack, unfortunately for me, so he ends up doing a lot of damage with that. I do have Regenerator though, so I'm going to try to go into my Combuskin, hoping that this guy can't really do too much to my Combuskin. And yeah, this is going to be a speed boost Combuskin. You know, I had to bring something broken, right? So he's just going to go for the Leech Sheet, so that's moderately annoying. I could go for the Firium Z here, but I'm thinking, you know what, if I go back to my Duosion, I can, I mean, obviously I got some HP back from the Regenerator ability, so I can go back into it now. It looks like this guy doesn't really have a whole lot to do attacking-wise, but he ends up carrying the Seed Bomb, unfortunately. Still, he doesn't really have that much attack investment. Unfortunately, he still does about a quarter, so I end up coming out, you know, about the middle there. I decided just to go for another Psychic here. It really doesn't do actually that much, despite Duosion's like 125 base special attack. I don't have actually a whole lot of special attack investment actually though, and he's probably max special bulk on this Grotle. This Grotle actually been the biggest problem for me, I think. It's actually just been a really annoying thorn in my side this whole match, and yeah, this thing is back in green HP, so I have to pretty much go back to my Combuskin. I'm pretty sure I can take a Seed Bomb okay. So that's what I do, and yeah, the Seed Bomb ends up hitting me. I mean, it doesn't do a whole lot. He doesn't have a whole lot of attack investment, clearly. It hits me down about 54, and I was thinking, and you know, I probably should have popped up. I wanted to conserve the Fire EMZ to one-shot one of his Pokemon that aren't weak to it, so I go for a Flare Blitz. In retrospect, this is actually a really bad idea, and I realized as soon as I clicked it, because he still has Girder, and Girder has that reliable, priority move known as Mach Punch. And if I hadn't Flare Blitz there, I wouldn't take that recoil. I could probably live a Mach Punch without him having, without the, you know, what's the ability? Guts triggering. So, unfortunately, though, I can't. So I go out into my Devotion. Unfortunately, I don't carry speed investment, though, and Girder, being one of the slowest Pokemon in the game, still outspeeds Devotion, being an even slower Pokemon in the game. And that is pretty much game over for me. So, would have been nice to win Battle 1000, but it was still a very interesting match, I feel. So, good game there, SixftHax. Was a fun match, actually. I mean, it definitely lived up to what I wanted it to be, which is like a fun match with a bunch of Pokemon you don't see, because they really are just kind of outclassed by their evolved forms. So, yeah, anyway, let's go into today's question of the day, which, you know, obviously I'm going to pick a question of the day featuring Pokemon Sword and Shield, which was revealed in the Pokemon Direct yesterday? No, the day before. Was it yesterday? The day before? I don't know. It was revealed, you know, one of those days. And I am super hyped for these games, by the way. I think they have the coolest names of any Pokemon games to date. They look amazing. I mean, it's just a teaser trailer, but they look amazing. I am super hyped, man. I am hype. The only thing I'm kind of worried about is jetting Pokemon for the Switch, because apparently they have some pretty annoying anti-hacking measures. But that's just a minor thing. The games look freaking amazing! Actually, I'm pretty pleasantly surprised by the starters this gen. Unlike previous generations of Pokemon, like, you know, I think it was like Gen 3, where I legitimately liked all of the base forms of all of the starters. I don't hate these Pokemon at all. Like, they all look like Pokemon to me, so A+ game. I mean, obviously we don't know what they evolve into yet. We don't know what they evolve into yet. They could evolve into hideous monstrosities. But for the most part, I like all these designs. I mean, I'm not really a fan of monkeys, but, you know, Grookey, I mean, it's a monkey. Granted, it's a monkey. I'm not a huge fan of monkey Pokemon, but they have their place. It looks like it could be a cool Pokemon. Score Bunny, obviously the Blazing Bunny, and you have Sobble there, who is an interesting-looking chameleon of sorts, because in the trailer it actually changed color. So maybe its hidden ability is going to be color change, which would actually be kind of cool. So yeah, today's question of the day is, which starter do you like best? As for me, I mean, obviously it's going to depend a lot on their final forms, which we don't know yet. I mean, there's been speculation. I have to give it to Score Bunny. I mean, I am a fire-type lover in general, but this is the best chance fire-type has had to actually have the fastest final form evolution. If you actually think about it, I mean, speed and fire kind of go together, right? I mean, speed is like one of the core stats of fire. Pokemon in general, like, they're usually pretty fast. So, would it surprise you if I told you that the fastest starter Pokemon in the final form is not a fire type? In fact, it's a water type. And the second fastest Pokemon, a starter, is a grass type. That's right. Fire is third if you rank the fastest Pokemon of each type among final form starters. Greninja being the fastest, and then Serperior being the second fastest. So, yeah, what's with that, man? We need a really blazing fire type starter, and Score Bunny, I mean, it's a freaking bunny. It has to be fast, man. It has to be fast. I hope this thing is blazing. I hope this thing outspeeds Greninja when it's in its final form. And I hope it can hit somewhat hard. I mean, I'm kind of excited about this Pokemon in general. I'm interested in what they do with it, and it's cute. It's very cute. Although I like all of them, to be honest. I mean, I'm probably going to take Score Bunny on my private playthrough when the game comes out. I'm probably obviously going to be doing a Nuzlocke eventually on my probably as soon as the game comes out, actually, on my Twitch live stream, and I'll probably let you guys or the viewers decide whether they want me to pick the monkey or the chameleon for that. But yeah, I really like all these starters. Score Bunny is obviously the master race, but they're all pretty cool. So leave a comment about that, and guys, thanks for watching Battle number 1000. I don't know how many more there's going to be. I don't know if I'm ever going to reach 2,000, but I've made it here to 1,000. So, from the bottom of my heart, thanks for watching, guys. I mean, I never would have continued posting if it wasn't for some people who like to watch my silly little Pokemon battle videos. So, thanks for watching, and you guys rock. Later.